Finally, the video like 5 of you requested, but it was a really good subject, so I decided I'm going to do it anyway. Recoil control. So before we actually get into the point of how you control different guns, let's make sure we understand all the mechanics around gun control, starting with first versus third person. There will be times to use third person over first person. Not a lot of those times, but they will exist. Firstly, third person is far less accurate than first person, as demonstrated in this clip. One side is first person and the other side is third person at roughly the same fire rate. There is only so much recoil control that you can do in third person, which is why first person is generally preferred at all times. The only times you should really be using third person are clearing corners and inside buildings. Everything else should be first person if possible. It's just better overall control and accuracy for gunplay. So how does recoil control work pertaining to other mechanics in the game? How do you do it? Well, first, your setup does play some importance into this. You need to be comfortable with your mouse and your DPI settings. Now, you don't have to have a gaming mouse or an insanely large mouse pad or any of that fancy stuff, but in my opinion, it can help if you have a mouse that you can fine-tune your DPI, or dots per inch, is what it stands for. If you have a mouse that you can finely tune that with, so that you're comfortable in that setting and you enjoy the feeling and the accuracy that it gives you. I can fine-tune my DPI for what feels right for me. I use a Logitech G502. Some people have asked me to tell you my settings, and telling you my settings honestly is not going to help you. It's a different preference for everyone. A really good example of this is back in Siege, Kickstarter had a sensitivity setup where he changed some files in the INI, and it adjusted how sensitivity worked a little bit in the game so that it was more accurate. Now, I actually went lower than the sensitivity that he had, but I did use some INI file changes, even though I was using the sensitivity of a professional player. Sensitivity and control of sensitivity is completely subjective to personal preferences. Just be comfortable with your control method. A large mouse pad and lower sensitivity does tend to help in the large populace idea of things. I use a large SteelSeries mouse pad that I picked up at Walmart for 10 bucks. Cheap and effective. So go to Walmart, look for a SteelSeries mouse pad, and you can usually get one for 10 bucks in the gaming section over by PC peripherals. I personally use a heavily weighted Logitech G502. It has gram weights in it. My mouse weighs something like 40 or 50 grams. I prefer heavier mice. They have a more weighty feel to it, more controlled for me. Most people prefer lighter mice. Again, it's a personal preference for feeling comfortable with your setup. Now that we've got all the mechanics, basics out of the way like that in terms of feeling comfortable and whatnot, let's talk about the actual mechanics of recoil inside the game. I'll mostly be showing good examples of recoil control throughout this video because poor examples wouldn't really help you guys any. So recoil control is actually kind of a universal thing throughout a lot of PC games for me specifically. Moving from one game to another, you will have to make minor adjustments. Recoil control is all about counteractive movement with your mouse in the opposite direction of where the recoil pushes your gun and your reticle. Every gun has different recoil, some have more horizontal, some have more vertical. Finding your gun that you're best with is based on which recoil you handle best. Some people handle vertical recoil better than horizontal recoil, but every gun has both horizontal and vertical recoil. Attachments in the game will help minimize recoil for vertical or horizontal depending on which you struggle more with. Compensators help reduce recoil overall, more so vertical it seems. Vertical foregrips help stabilize the weapon in general and reduce horizontal recoil, making it easier to handle the vertical recoil of the weapon, and it's easier in general to just focus on vertical recoil for a lot of people. Some people handle horizontal recoil better. Again, it's all personal preference on that one. Lastly, for mechanics, the shift button when you're ADSing. A lot of people don't know that this exists in the game, but if you are ADSing, you can hold the shift button, and you'll hold your breath and stabilize yourself in-game, resulting in pretty much no sway with your weapon and making all your shots on point, only having to worry about recoil at this. A lot of people don't actually know this exists. The shift button, left shift button specifically, holds your breath, and it allows your shots to be stable, no sway whatsoever. Normally you have sway with every single weapon. This reduces that. This shift button to hold your breath actually isn't in the control menu, so I can understand why a lot of people don't know it's there, and it's honestly a huge benefit, and you really need to get used to using it. It makes medium to long range shots much easier. A couple of things about recoil control in general. Full auto is not always the answer. In fact, it's not the answer 90% of the time. You really only want to use full auto when you're indoors or in close quarters using your third person to peek around corners and spray somebody down. From a relatively similar distance, these are my groupings with full auto versus single fire, and then slowed down single fire. Slowing your shots down for better placement is not a bad thing. In fact, it tends to be better. It's much more beneficial to slow down your shots and hit most of them as opposed to firing in rapid succession and missing a good portion of them because you're in a panic. Try not to panic and slow your shots down. As you can see, this grouping is much tighter than the ones on the left. Tighter grouping leads to more accuracy at longer distances. For me, recoil control is something I just do naturally over time because I've practiced it for so long in multiple games. For these tips, I actually had to take note of what I was doing when I was controlling my recoil because I do it naturally. With enough practice, it will come to you naturally. It's all just about adjusting the counteractive movement of your mouse against the recoil of the gun, and every recoil is different. Some's a little higher, some's a little lower. Usually you will bring your mouse back to a natural resting position on your target. At least I do. That's something you just gotta naturally ingrain in yourself, and you can learn to do it at faster and faster paces. Again, it does come naturally if you've practiced it across multiple games and you're comfortable with your setup. Don't go changing crazy settings and try something completely different unless you're really feeling like your sensitivity or your setup's not working for you. Small adjustments to where it feels perfect will get you there. It's something that comes with time, practice, and tuning of your setup. Don't be afraid to spend time in games learning better recoil control, even if you're losing those games. Long term, better control over your weapons means you're going to win fights more often. That's pretty much all the relevant tips that I could think to help you guys with your recoil control. It's just practice and learning the different weapons. Get out there. Find your favorite weapon, the weapon you do best with. That's probably the weapon you're most naturally attuned to in terms of being able to control it, and then practice with that weapon. And then go outside of your comfort zone. Pick up an AK and start using it. I've purposely been doing that lately because my shot with the AK isn't as good as I'd like it to be versus an actual Scar L, which seems to be the gun I shoot best with personally, although I like the M16 more. So, personal preference, practice. Don't be afraid to lose and get out there and make self-correcting mistakes. I hope these tips helped you guys. Feel free to like this video if it helped you, and if it did not, the dislike button is right over there. Sub to the channel if you enjoy our content. It helps support me and the rest of the content that I put out there. We broke 5K subs this weekend, guys. That's fucking amazing. That's actually been a milestone I've wanted to hit for so long. Thank you guys for all the amazing support. It's just really awesome. I really do appreciate it, guys. If you'd like to support the channel even further, you can do so over at patreon.com/3gunsdown. That's a link on the screen you can click right now. Or if you want to come watch me live over at twitch.tv/gunsgames, GUNZGAMES. You can save yourself some money also and support the channel. If you like buying PC games, you can do it over at Green Man Gaming through our affiliate link that's in the description below. And you can follow me on Twitter to listen to my rantings, of which there are many of. Don't forget, every Sunday we give a copy away of PUBG, and we are this Sunday, April 23rd. So, if you want a free copy of the game, come watch us over at twitch.tv/GUNZGAMES. I am Guns. I'm going to get out of here. Good luck out there, guys. GG.
Yeah. Stand where I'm at and toss it up. He might charge, careful.
Shit.
Oh shit!
Shut up!
It hit an invisible wall above the stairs.
Knocked one out.
Oh, two more.
Jesus. Close the doors, Raven.
Knocked one out.
Oh, Raven doing some magic, maybe.
Pushing.
Got him. One more.
All four of them are right. Oh.
Door closed.
I'm lit.
Yeah. Where's he prone?
Right top stairs.
He moved.
Okay.
I pushed him.
Push up, if you can, safely.
We're good. I got the hallway covered. Left-hand side, Raven, cover right.
I'll watch downstairs. So
That door's closed, so.
Yeah, I did hear him close the door, so he's in that. He
Yeah,
has a
if you close the
shoddy.
door. Oh, you had an AR suppressor? You're
Okay.
amazing.
Raven, move. Doors open.
Do not move to the right, Guns. Move closer to your left. There you go. Hang on, let me see if there's a frag here. Shadow, where'd you blow yourself up at?
I don't know. Alright.
He's right next to the door. The right.
Right-hand side, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watching towards me.
Did you find a frag?
No. You just tossed one.
Shit!
I got one.
Dead. That's me, Lex. Oh no, what the fuck?
There's 2 groups in here?
What the? How many people are in here?
Did they not know?
No idea.